Good morning, boys and girls. I want to start our Journeys lesson this morning with doing a phonemic awareness warm-up. Are you ready? So just like we've done before, Mrs. Collier is going to say a word. I want you to repeat that word, and then we are going to blend it together using our arm. Are you ready? Okay, so just an example, just in case you need a quick refresher. Let's do the word wish. Say the word wish. Wish. Okay, we are going to blend it using our arm tool. So we get our hand ready. We're going to say wish. Wish. Blend it all together. Wish. Awesome job. Okay, so I've got some new words for us to blend together today. So our first word is sun. Sun. Say the word sun. Sun. Okay, arm up. Are you ready? Sun. 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 Blend it all together. Sun. Sun. Great job. Let's do some more. Let's do the word pass. Pass. Say the word pass. Pass. You ready? Arm up. Pass. 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 Great job. Let's do a couple more. Let's do the word cape, like a superhero wears. Cape. Say the word cape. Ready? Ape. 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 Ready? Cape. Great job. What about the word snap? Say the word snap. Snap. Can you snap your fingers when you do this? Can you snap? So the word snap, we say snap. 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 And then we snap our fingers. And our last word is rain. When I hear the word rain, it makes me want to do this. Say rain. Rain. So the word rain. Let's blend it. Are you ready? Rain. 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 Great job, everybody. Let's get started on our next activity. For our next activity, I want to go over our high frequency words. So our high frequency words are these words we've been going over. It's like for, look, he, have, all of those awesome words we've been learning. So just like we did last time, I want us to say the word, spell the word, and write the word. Are you ready? Okay, let's start with for. Say the word for. For. For is spelled F-O-R. So we hear f-or. F-or. For. Let's write it together. F-O-R. Great job. Our next word is have. Say the word have. Have. Have is spelled H-A-V-E. So the sounds we hear h-a-v. The E makes kind of a silent sound. We don't really hear the E. So we hear the h-a-v. And the E is silent. So let's write the word have together. So we get our fingers ready. We're going to write all in the air. H-A-V-E. Awesome. Next, let's do the word what. What. Say the word what. What is spelled W-H-A-T. And when we blend the word what together, we hear the W and H sound together. It makes a wh sound. Kind of a funny sound. We hear T. So our A makes kind of a sound, kind of like U. So we hear t. What? Our next word we have is two. Two. Say the word two. Two. Two is spelled T-O-O. So the T makes a T sound, and our double O makes an OO sound. So we hear T, OO, two. Let's write it. T. Oh, well, it does make a T sound, the T. So it's T-O-O. Great job. The word is look. Say the word look. Look. Look is spelled L-O-O-K. So when we blend the word, we hear the oo sound for our L. The double O makes a oo sound, and our K makes a K sound. So we hear k. Look. And we spell look, L-O-O-K. So let's write the word look. Are you ready? L-O-O-K. Great job. One more. Our last word is he. He. Say the word he. He is spelled H-E. When we hear the H, we hear a H. And our E makes a long E sound, meaning it goes E. So we hear H, E, he. Let's write it together. H, E. Great job. So this week we learned about some new vocabulary words, and we talked about some of them yesterday and the day before. These vocabulary words are the ones like bandits, brave, steady, ears, and so on. So today we're just going to be talking about a few of those words. So Mrs. Collier is going to ask you a question, and it will have one of the vocabulary words in it. Are you ready? My first question is, how are rabbit ears different from human ears? So ears was one of our vocabulary words this week. Ears, so these guys over here, we all have ears. These are the parts of the body that hear everything. So how are our ears different from a rabbit or a bunny's ears? What do you think? My next question is, why is it important to be steady when you are riding a bike? Steady was also one of our vocabulary words. Steady means calm. So why is it important to be steady or calm while riding a bike? What do you think? And my last question is, think of a time where you had to sit very still. Still was one of our vocabulary words, and it means not moving. Can you think of a time where you had to sit very, very still? So in our lessons before, we read the story, The Storm. Now in the story, The Storm, we learned that the story is something in the genre called realistic fiction, meaning the whole story is not true, but a lot of the parts of the story could still happen. So Tim and Rip and Pop may not be real people, but a thunder and lightning storm like we saw in the book does happen, and in some places happens all of the time. Our next story we are going to be reading today is called Storms. So this story called Storms is called an informational text. An informational text gives facts about a topic. So the information that we read in this story can be from a newspaper, a magazine, a book, a website. All of them are telling facts about our topic, which is storms. So as we read through our story today called Storms, I want you to be looking to see if you can find facts, which means they are true information about storms. We are also going to be seeing photographs or pictures of storms in our story today. Pictures or photographs can help tell a story. So now we are going to be reading the story Storms together. So it says storms at the top. We'll start right here. A storm is a strong wind with rain or snow. It may have hail or sleet. Warm, light air goes up quickly. It mixes with high, cold air. Look, it's a storm. So how we just talked about how there's photographs in our story. We can see a photograph of, do you remember what this is called? We saw this in our previous story, the storm. This is what Tim saw out of his window. Do you remember what this was called? This is called lightning. These are lightning bolts. So down here on our picture, this is called a caption. So a caption tells us what is happening in the picture. So the caption says, this is a lightning storm in Pampa, Texas. So it tells us that this picture is of a lightning storm that happened in Texas. Wow, look at that picture of the lightning. Would you want to be in that storm? I would not want to be in that storm. Now we're going to read about different kinds of storms. So it says kinds of storms. A thunderstorm has thunder and lightning. It can bring heavy rain. A tornado is a strong twisting wind. It is shaped like a cone. We've seen a cone before in our math lessons. Do you remember what a cone looks like? A hurricane is a very big storm. It has strong spinning winds and rain. A dust storm is a strong wind that carries dust for miles. So at the beginning of us reading this story, I wanted you to be listening for facts that we hear, facts in our story. Can you think of one fact we have learned so far? A fact provides true information. So an example of a fact could be that a tornado is shaped like a cone. That is a fact because our evidence and our text tells us so, and this story is informational text. It can also be seen and proven. So we have experts called storm chasers who can go and track a storm, that take pictures of it and do analysis on it, meaning they look at the storm and they figure out how big it is, what shapes they are. So we have people who can support this fact as well. So now we are going to talk about measuring storms. Measuring storms. So here we can see our photographs or pictures of different measuring tools that people use during a storm. And then all of these small boxes with words, do you remember what these are called? These are called captions. The captions give us information for what is happening in the picture or tells us what the picture is. So we have a rain gauge, a thermometer, a wind gauge, and a wind sock. So it says measuring storms. Scientists have tools for measuring storms. They measure heat and cold. They measure the wind. They measure rainfall and snowfall too. What storms have you seen? So let's think about that question. Have you ever seen a storm? Have you ever been inside of a storm? Mrs. Collier has been in a storm before. I've actually been in quite a few storms because I used to live in Florida. Florida is a state that's way below us and towards the south. Well, during the summers, we have something called hurricane season. So during hurricane season, we usually have 1 or 2 very big hurricanes that come through our town. My first hurricane that I experienced, I was 10 years old, so I was a little bit older than you. I was in the 5th grade. My family and I had just moved to Florida, and I think it was 1 or 2 days after us living in Florida, we heard that a hurricane was coming. So, when a hurricane is coming, you have to prepare. You have to get food ready to eat, you have to get clothes ready, and you have to pack an emergency bag with flashlights, batteries, and things like that. Because when a hurricane comes through, it can potentially ruin, that's a vocabulary word, ruin or destroy your house, all of your clothes, your food. So it's a very serious situation. Thankfully, we found shelter and we were able to hide away from the storm. But after the hurricane was over, there were trees that were completely knocked down. There was no power or electricity, so there was no lights, no TV, no phones, nothing. And a lot of people's houses got water in them from flooding. So going through a storm is not something that's very fun. So while we're talking about storms, if we think about our story, The Storm, the one with Tim and Rip and Pop, what kind of storm do you think that they went through? So the different kind of storms we've talked about were thunderstorms that have thunder and lightning, a tornado that is strong, twisting wind, a hurricane that has strong spinning winds and rain, and a dust storm that carries dust. So which of those storms do you think that Tim and Rip and Pop went through? We saw a thunderstorm that had thunder and lightning. That is the kind of storm that Tim and Rip and Pop went through.